If you're someone looking to break into the tech field, but feel intimidated that you might have to learn how to code, I'm here to tell you, nope, you don't ever have to touch a line of code to be successful in tech. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sira, and on this channel, I talk about life, personal development, and relationships. If you're into developing yourself, you're in the right place to grow at your own pace. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 5 non-coding jobs in tech that you can tap into to make 6 figures without ever having to touch a line of code. In this video, you can expect me to talk about the different roles, a day in the life in the role, the skill sets required, and also what you might need to do in order to get started. With that, let's get into it. From my own personal experience, I've held several roles in tech, like system analyst, business analyst, and being a Scrum Master. And I've also seen a lot of coworkers hold similar roles without ever having to touch a line of code. If I can do it, if they can do it, then most definitely you can do it as well. But I would be doing you a disservice if I did not tell you about these 3 prerequisite things that I think is very important and fundamental for you to be able to truly break in the tech field and be successful. The first is understanding the software development lifecycle model. This is the model in which software application is built. Second is having a clearer understanding of the different methodologies in which a software development team may actually be using to build this software. For example, a team may be using a methodology like waterfall, which is becoming very obsolete, and teams are retiring that with agile, Kanban, lean, DevOps, and so forth. So do some Google research, learn about these things. The third thing is being able to really hone your soft skills. For example, your ability to be a critical thinker, to be detailed, plan, to be an effective communicator really comes into play because you're working with stakeholders. So with that, let's dive into the various roles. The first role is a product manager. Imagine that you're on a software team that is building a web application. The product manager is the person who defines the role of the web application and the vision of the application. There's someone who identifies the problem in which the application is going to solve. They also define what success may look like for that web application. A good product manager is someone who is balanced at understanding and ensuring that the app meets the user needs, the business needs, and also has the technical feasibility. A day in the life of a product manager may look like aligning stakeholders around the mission and vision of the web application. It may look like doing user research to fully understand the user needs for the application. And it may also look like prioritizing the capabilities and features that the product team may need to work on to actually produce this web application. You're a good fit for the product manager role if you're good at strategic thinking, critical thinking, have effective prioritization and communication skills. To get started as a product manager, I would recommend you reading How to Create Products That Customers Love and also cracking the PM interview. You don't have to go back to school to get a degree to be a product manager. I would highly recommend that you pursue your product manager certification, AIPMM. The second role is a product owner. The role of the product owner is derived from Scrum. Scrum is a framework that a software team may use to produce working software. The product owner is responsible for managing the product backlog, which usually consists of features and capabilities of the product. So this can be things like, from a feature perspective, it can be things like create a login page, create a sign-on, and so forth. Second, they're also responsible for being a liaison between the business, the users, and also the Scrum team. They work really closely with the product manager to gather high-level requirements, to write out features, user stories, and to prepare and equip the team to actually know what it is that they're going to be working on for the various different sprints that falls into the Scrum framework. Scrum falls into the Scrum framework. A day in the life of a product owner may look like writing user stories and features for the development team, answering any outstanding questions the team may have about the functionality of the application, doing demos, and working with key stakeholders around the web application. You're a good fit for the product owner role if you're good at planning, organizing, managing stakeholder relationships, and managing conflicting priorities. To get started as a product owner, I would recommend you read User Stories Applied and The Professional Product Owner. I would also highly suggest that you get your Product Owner Certification, PSPO, with Scrum.org. Also, because product owners work with Scrum Masters closely, I would say become familiar with tools like Jira and Rally. The third role is a Scrum Master. I personally was a Scrum Master for about 3 years. A Scrum Master is someone who understands the Scrum framework and coaches the development team on the practices and principles of Scrum. A Scrum Master is someone who facilitates conversations and communication with leadership and the team to manage expectations. They also help remove impediments for the team and also facilitates the various ceremonies within Scrum. For example, those things can be the daily stand-up, team retrospectives, and team planning, and so forth. A day in the life of a Scrum Master may look like facilitating the daily stand-up, working with the team to remove impediments that may have come up during the daily stand-up. They will also be working super closely with the product owner to help them prioritize the product backlog. They will be in various meetings working with stakeholders to talk through just the process of the development team, any obstacles and things that may be in the way. The Scrum Master role is a good fit for someone who is skilled at understanding the Scrum framework, facilitation, communication, managing relationships, and problem solving, and also working on their feet. To get started as a Scrum Master, I would recommend you reading the book Essential Scrum and also an amazing blog called Mountain Goat Software. You also don't need to go back to school to get your degree to be a Scrum Master, but I would highly recommend that you get your Scrum Master certification with scrumalliance.org. The fourth role is a Quality Assurance Engineer, also known as a QA. A QA is someone who focuses on testing the software to ensure that the software application is free of errors, bugs, and defects, so that when the end user is actually using the application, they're pleased with it and the application does what it is intended. The goal of a quality assurance engineer is to ensure the quality of the software application. A day in the life of a QA may look like creating and running test scripts to actually test out the software application, to test out the full application to ensure that they catch any bugs, defects, or issues that may come up. And when they do that, they also document the errors so that the developers can revise that and make adjustments, and that cycle repeats itself until the application is free of error. QA are usually doing two types of tests, manual testing and automated testing. So with automated testing, they may be using tools like Selenium or Cypress. The QA role is a good fit for someone who is skilled at analytical thinking, they're detail-oriented, they have accuracy and precision, and they're really good at identifying and spotting problems. To get started as a QA, you don't have to go back to school to earn a degree. I would suggest visiting istqb.org to see what certification best aligns with what you want to do or pursue in the QA field. The fifth role is a UX designer. That's my favorite role. The role of a UX designer is someone who works to understand the user, the pain points of the user, and to ensure that the application that the team is building meets the actual need of the users and also align back to the business objectives. You may see a UX designer doing user research, creating wireframes, user personas, and truly understanding the full-blown user experience from beginning to end of the application process. A day in the life of a UX designer may look like conducting user research, may look like creating user personas, creating wireframes or prototypes, and also being able to share those wireframes and prototypes with the development team to discuss these design decisions and see what challenges or obstacles from a technical perspective may not be feasible for the application. The role of the UX designer is someone who has a keen interest in design, technology, and business, because this role combines those three interests into one. They also have the ability to think on the spot and also empathize with the user. They have a systematic perspective in approaching how they work on projects, understanding the user needs from the very beginning towards the end, ensuring that every decision that is made from an application perspective truly meets the user and also the business objectives. To get started as a UX designer, I would recommend you reading the book Don't Make Me Think and becoming familiar with the design thinking process. You don't have to go back to school to be a UX designer, but it is highly recommended that you go to a bootcamp course to learn the skill sets. You can go to bootcamp courses like General Assembly, Springboard, or Career Foundry. You will also need to build a portfolio of your work to be able to use during the interview process for whatever company that you may be applying to in the future. Keep in mind that this video was a high-level overview of the different roles and by no means a deep analysis into each of those roles. If you're interested in me doing a deep analysis into each of these roles, let me know and I'll be more than happy to do so. Also, check in the description because I'm going to provide you with links and tools to get you started for each of these roles, because I truly believe that if I can do it, you can do it as well, and want to be someone who helps guide you on your journey. Question of the day: which of these roles interests you the most? Share in the comments. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you everyone. I'll see you again next week Saturday. Bye guys.